Wow, we're live already.
That was fast.
Look at that shit. Okay. It's March 27th, 2023, and these are your Fortean Files. I never know if I should shut it off early.
It is a little lengthy, but it's good.
I need it to shorten it up. Welcome to the program for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. The face of KT finally got her green screen working. So she is here. I am back from outer space. I just walked. No, that's a song. I had my surgery on Friday. That was a fun experience. So my surgery was scheduled for 1:05 in the afternoon. I went in at 11:30 and got all situated. Oh fuck, I forgot to cover the birds. This is going to be an interesting one tonight. So yeah, I got in there at 11:30. They get you in. They have you, strip down, get into the little Johnny, which is now like a fucking 3M product. It's not.
Right.
It's not like the cloth fucking Johnny that you used to put on.
Yeah.
It's
like a disposable.
It's a fucking 3M product. I'm not joking. And the thing has all these like little fucking holes and shit and like little attachments. They can put a unit on to heat it or to cool it.
Oh.
Like, now, I didn't know this for like the first however many hours that I had to sit there. So I sat in my own fucking sweat because it's like made out of this material and it's not fabric. It literally just traps your body heat and causes you to sweat.
Yeah.
So sitting there, and of course Missy's with me, and she's like, when I came in for surgery, I wound up staying the night because they couldn't get me in until later. And I'm like, shut up. Like, shut the fuck up.
That would suck.
Right now.
Right.
So, because it's getting to be, 12 something, and the nurse comes in and she says, the doctor is an hour behind.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So, and come to find out, the doctor wasn't an hour behind. The doctor was 2 hours behind.
Yikes.
So I sat there until 3:13 I went in. And they came in and finally gave me they're like, hey, we're gonna give you something to calm you down. I love how they say it. We're gonna give you something to calm you down. And he put something into my IV, and they wheeled me down the hallway into the OR. I never even got to see HAL 9000, the fucking robot, whatever the fuck it's called.
You were out already?
They so much as wheeled me in, started to turn the fucking I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm gone. I don't remember anything else after that. I woke up. It was 4 hours later when I woke up.
How long was the surgery?
The surgery was an hour. So
nap after.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. And all I can remember is the nurse in the recovery room or whatever they fucking call it there, saying to me, Chris, you got to breathe. Chris, you got to breathe.
Oh, wow.
You go. Great.
Yeah, that's not what you want to wake up to. So I thought I was.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I was breathing. Thanks for let me know I wasn't. But anywho, and then I don't remember the ride home. I barely remember anything on the ride home. I remember getting wheeled out to the car, but I don't remember the ride home much. And I kind of remember coming upstairs, but was hella
Was
sick
your
all
heart
night
rate
long.
slowed?
I don't know. I didn't
Is that
talk
why
to
they
him
were
about
telling you to
anything.
breathe?
I didn't talk to him about it at all. And I know
Huh.
I've been now this. I don't know if I'm confused about this or not, but at one point in time, I was told that I had an issue with anesthesia, but the surgeon was like, "I don't worry about that shit."
Yeah.
Like whoever told you that didn't know what they were talking about.
Well,
And I'm like,
for me, I
okay,
have a history of it lasting longer, and it takes me longer to wake up than it does for most people. And I
yeah,
also have a really slow resting heartbeat, especially when I'm asleep. And so does my mom. Every
hmm
time either one of us is in the hospital, they always look at us while we're sleeping like, she okay? But it's just like
right,
our
right.
natural, real slow heart rate.
Well, I was actually talking with Alcorn after my surgery, and
Yeah.
he told me because I was so nauseous and everything afterwards. Because that night I wound up being like wicked nauseous all night. I wound up puking in the morning, which hurt like all get out. It fucking killed.
Yeah.
He said that his wife was saying that they put a motion sickness patch behind her
Oh,
ear, and that fucking took care of it.
that's really
Um,
clever.
yeah, so and it helps you with like waking up quicker too, like because
Hmm.
that's what he said she had the same issue. Slept fucking for a while, woke up, was wicked groggy, super fucking nauseous. So I think I'm hoping that I don't have fucking surgery anytime in the future
Right.
soon, but if I do, or if something should happen, I'm gonna tell them to do that shit because
Well, that's a
it was
really
it was
clever solution for nausea in general, like for any reason. That's in a pinch,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, and it was fucking horrible. I mean, it was bad. I got
Yeah.
home and I was just hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold all fucking
It's
night.
like having a fever.
And they say in your discharge instructions if you have that, to get in touch with them. And I didn't know when I should or how long I should let it go. But by
Right.
morning, I wound up, finally fucking throwing up, and it was done. It just went away. As soon as I threw up, everything fucking normalized.
Yeah.
So, and then I was able to eat normally and everything was cool. But yeah, feel a lot better. I don't feel great. I still hurt. Um, I don't know if as I'm gonna go back to work tomorrow night. I spoke to my boss today and I was just like, I don't know. I'm like,
Right.
I'd like to. I'd really, really like to.
But you don't want to
But
overdo it too soon. And
well, no, it's not just that. It's not the pain. It's the fact that I'm constantly tired.
right. Well,
Like
that's a big part of it too. I mean, that's a
right.
big part of your recovery. You need rest so your body can focus on healing what
Yeah.
it needs
So I
to.
told him
So,
possibly Wednesday. Um just to give me at least another day to be able to just chill out and see how I'm feeling because I feel a lot better today, but I still wound up sleeping a lot of today.
right.
Like I got up this morning, went back to bed about I don't know, fucking like 9 or so. Woke up at noon, went back to bed about I don't know 4. Woke
Yeah.
up at 6.
Well, your
Uh,
body needs it.
Yeah, I'm just back and forth with the fucking bed and my chair.
Right.
It's basically what it's been. Just there was one night it was just 2 hours. I would sleep 2 hours. I would get up for like 2 hours. I would go to sleep for 2 hours. I would get up for 2 hours. So
Yeah. Well,
it's
I'm
just
glad
been
at least it was only one really rough night though. That's only one
oh
rough
yeah.
night. That's a success for sure.
Oh, it was rough though. I don't want to go through that again.
Right.
A lot of this stuff, was reminders of, pain that I'd had before from the other stuff. Of course, they put me on, like I was talking to you about before the show, they put me on pain meds, which, I've talked about on, I don't know if I said anything on this show before, but I have on the Fortean Slip that, I was addicted to pain pills before, and I'd gotten sober, and I sat down with the surgeon before I went in for surgery and spoke to him about it and said, hey, this is the deal. And he's like, well, I'm going to give you some because, you're going to be in pain.
Yeah.
And, I'm only going to give you this many. And that's the deal. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'm good. And I told him that I thought I was fine with it and that I was good with it. Everything was cool. We spoke about, what he was going to give me. That was the only other thing that I had issue with because of being a former addict. And when they give you something, because the last time I had I think like a tooth pulled or something, they'd given me like something lower in dose, and it didn't even work.
Right.
Like I was like, you might as well have just told me to take Tylenol and ibuprofen, thanks. And I would have been cool with that if they had, too.
Right, to alternate it.
Right. I probably would have been fine with that, when I'd had the tooth pull. But it's like, just don't understand that, who you're prescribing these fucking things to. And he was very decent about that. He's like, no. He's like, I get it. I totally get it. He's like, this is what I will give you. I'll give you this many of them so you can get through a couple few days. And he's like that, he's like, I may give you a refill. And I'm like, you won't need to.
Right.
I told him straight up, you won't need to. And he won't.
You do really, any kind of post-op pain, you do need a day or two at least
of
some intervention,
Well, I was literally taking the pain pills, I was taking Tylenol, and I was taking ibuprofen, alternating the three of them. Well, I didn't worry about alternating the oxycodone, but I would alternate the Tylenol and the ibuprofen every 2 hours. So I was trying, and even with all of that, I was still in a lot of pain.
Right.
So it wasn't like I got, pain free from the whole thing.
Getting cut into is never a walk in the park.
No. So I'm all done with the pain meds now. I'm just taking ibuprofen and Tylenol now. It's still painful. It's not as painful as it was on Friday night, Saturday morning.
Right.
I can tell you
it's
that.
Not that intensity, but it's still uncomfortable.
And if I have any if I cough real bad or burps, that was the fucking thing that got me. A fucking burp hurts more than a fucking goddamn cough.
Have you had to sneeze? I bet a sneeze would hurt.
No, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God I have not had to sneeze.
I'm a powerful sneezer. It would hurt so bad.
Yeah. So that's the surgery update. I'm okay. I'm still alive. I got inflated like a balloon and had some work done. Had a Velcro patch thrown in me, I guess. That's how they work now. That's the other thing that fascinates me. The fucking science behind this shit.
Right.
They were able to put a patch in me that is literally on one side, it's like Velcro that goes into your muscle. And then your muscle grows into it so that it seals it. And you don't have a problem.
Medicine has advanced so much in such an incredible way.
And here's the other thing. He's like, I go in from behind. And that's the other thing I didn't understand. And now I kind of understand why the patch works the way that it does, though. They go in from behind. They pull the hernia back. I'm pretty sure. Slap the patch on the back side. Yeah. It's some interesting shit how they do this stuff.
Yeah.
So weird.
Some
So
big brain
weird.
stuff for
I have
sure.
3 incisions on my fucking stomach. My belly button
Right.
is never gonna look the same again.
Mm,
I'm
I don't know that
fucking
that's
very
true.
upset about that. Very upset. No.
I got
I can
similar scars when
I'll
I was 17, and
No, it's
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 fine.
all fucked up. I'll show it to you later.
Oh.
It's all fucked up. They
Oh,
fucking
mine
left
looked
it.
wicked in the beginning, but it's like all but gone now.
We'll see.
I was pretty young, but still.
It's gonna look pretty gnarly for a while.
For a while, yeah.
It's gonna look like shit.
It'll go
Alright.
through an evolution, I'm
Right.
sure.
Change. But fucking Kawatu off my fucking cock is gone. The fucking Total Recall fucking open your mind. Fucking that was the thing like I had to look for like first and foremost because like it literally
Is
looked
it
like I had
gone?
this weird bump above my dick. Like I described it as half a fupa,
A
but
partial fupa.
yeah, but it looked like, you know, if Kawatu was like a second dick in the Total Recall movie.
Had some dangle to it.
It was weird. It
Yeah.
was some fucking weird shit. It didn't have it really pushed out, but
Yeah.
it couldn't I couldn't push it back in, and it felt kind of hard. He said it wasn't intestine, it was fat. And Katie, you know me. You've met
You're not
me.
fat at all.
I'm like, where the fuck did the fat come from?
Well, we all have fat.
Right, but I'm like that's okay.
Yeah, that is weird.
All right, man. You say so.
I would have been insulted. I would have been like, "Excuse me."
Yeah, like what?
You better rephrase that somehow.
Yeah. It's like it's fat. It's not your intestines. I'm like, okay. But
It's
yeah,
necessary flesh.
interesting shit. So yeah, I'm all better. I got the patch. So boom. And we will jump into our stories of the fucking evening. I found some fucking doozies. Some doozies today. Let me see. I'll go with this one first. Katie might like this one. From IndianaPublicMedia.org.
God.
For Bigfoot enthusiasts, research is no small feat. Leroy Nail describes himself as a Bigfoot researcher. He spent 10 years seeking proof of Bigfoot's existence. All of us that go out and do this, we want to experience something you can't explain, Nail said. Sorry. I have not been able to clear my throat properly for 3 fucking days.
You'll get there.
Oh. And it hurts every time I fucking cough. In winter, when the trees are bare, it's hard to imagine 7-foot-tall creatures hiding in the forests of Morgan County. But Bigfoot researchers are convinced they're here. Leroy Nail leads the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization, whose Facebook group has over 3,000 members. He has been researching the legendary creature for 10 years. A lot of people will say, let's go Bigfoot hunting. Well, that's bad terminology because we're not hunting anything, Nail explained. What we're trying to do is research and understand what might be going on. Nail and another researcher took us to a secluded lake in Morgan County, where they had gathered evidence such as footprints and hair. We were looking for signs that might be attributed to Bigfoot. Right up here that catches my attention, he said. Nail pointed to a cluster of dead trees leaning against each other in the shape of a teepee. For hikers and hunters, it wouldn't be worth a second glance, but to a Bigfoot researcher, it's a possible sign. Is it? Is it really? Those trees are too big for a person to do that. And then you start looking at it and going, okay, did all those trees just fall into that point? Or would it be possible that they got stacked up? Nail asked. As a researcher, he tells me that we're just looking for anything out of the ordinary. Nail isn't convinced that these trees are a Bigfoot structure, but he would consider going in for a closer look. Now, if that's what that would be or not, I have no idea, Nail said. America's obsession with Bigfoot goes back to 1958 when a Northern California construction worker named Jerry Crew noticed his equipment had been moved and discovered large footprints trailing through the worksite. Jokingly, he referred to the mystery beast as Bigfoot, and when a local reporter caught wind of the story, it spread like wildfire. Since then, witnesses from across diverse educational, ethnic, and income backgrounds have come forward with stories that have provoked fascination from some and ridicule from others. There have been multiple reported Bigfoot sightings in every state except Hawaii. This goes on and on and on and on and on and on, Katie.
Well, I was shocked to even hear that we had an Indiana Bigfoot group. But I thought, surely it's got to be in southern Indiana, obviously, right? Well, I looked up where Morgan County is because it sounded familiar, but it's one of the fucking suburb counties of Indianapolis. Like, Indianapolis is in Morgan County, so I call bullshit.
Yeah.
There ain't no Bigfoot anywhere near Indianapolis. I promise.
Not hanging out there, are they?
No. I mean, it's literally a couple miles away from Greenwood, which is one of the really nice Indianapolis suburbs. So, I mean, it's wooded, for sure, but it's been so heavily populated for so long. No.
That is very doubtful.
Yeah. Southern Indiana, I'd buy it. Southern Indiana is pretty Kentucky-like.
Pretty rural.
Yeah. Well, Northern Indiana is rural too, but it's all cornfields and no woods. So there's no Bigfoot in Northern Indiana for sure.
Yeah, when you get into fucking tree structures, I'll even show the picture that they show.
Yeah, a tree structure in Indianapolis is probably
tree structure.
Some humans.
Yeah, this is what they showed for the picture.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so lame. I'm disappointed.
Yeah. So was I. I was completely disappointed.
That was not article worthy.
For one,
shame.
I'm not a big fan of tree structures.
Not unless it's like really intriguing and like really something special.
Well, I did a whole fucking thing on a parody about it.
I do not recall.
That I thought it was fucking ridiculous. I mean,
it
basically,
is ridiculous.
It's ridiculously. People just see these sticks that are stacked up like teepees in the fucking woods, and they automatically think Bigfoot. Like it couldn't possibly be humans that are doing this thing,
or even just like storms and stuff.
Right? It couldn't possibly be just that nature made this fall this way. No, has to be Bigfoot every fucking time. Got to be Bigfoot.
Right.
Don't understand why, but it has to be. But yeah, I'm not gonna read through that entire fucking whole thing. It was from Indiana. I thought you would find it cute.
My state.
Let's see. We'll go to the next lovely Bigfoot story of the evening, Katie. From thedailystar.co.uk. I'm a Bigfoot expert, but my 9-year-old daughter mocks me for Nessie nonsense. A massive Bigfoot enthusiast admits he has been locked in a fierce debate with one of his daughters over the existence of the Loch Ness Monster. Cryptozoology researcher Andy McGrath penned Beasts of Britain and Beasts of the World, a book series on myths, rumors, and reports of unknown and endangered species. The dad of 2 says his daughters, ages 9 and 6, are at odds when it comes to believing in mythical creatures. And the youngster's difference in opinion has left McGrath facing off with his logical eldest after she blasted belief in the Scots creature as Nessie nonsense. Speaking to the Daily Star, he revealed they're hilarious. The 9-year-old is very grounded and logical and refers to it as Nessie nonsense. The 6-year-old is convinced that mermaids 100% absolutely exist. McGrath attempted to sway the child by telling her of the 1,100 plus reported sightings of the creature in the last 90 years. He added, I usually try to prove my point through correlation. So we talk a lot about the other lake monster sightings around the world that match Nessie's description and that were reported before Loch Ness. Her answer is most logical. Fairies and dragons and cultures around the world have similar descriptions too, but that doesn't make them real. Good on you, kid. The dad, however, is a hopeful skeptic, but says he is proud of his little girl for wanting hard proof before she is willing to accept the creature's existence. I think the cryptozoology genre suffers from an overabundance of credulity, gullibility, he confessed. I'd agree with that statement.
Yeah.
It's all very well for us to dreamily wish for these mystery animals to be real, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't apply the same conditions to proving that cryptids exist as we would for other regular animals. Andy gives the example of a recent viral TikTok clip which claimed to show the lake monster known as Culebron, located in Rancho Lake, Chile. But it was later revealed that the so-called creature was nothing more than a monster imposter, a sea lion which had entered the lake via the river. The dad has launched a weekly podcast where he interviews researchers from around the world about their obsessions, from modern-day T-Rex sightings and giant spiders to fairies and half-man, half-ape tales. Interesting. He wants some hard proof, though, Katie.
Hey,
listen.
Kid.
I agree with what he said, but I don't think he agrees with it personally.
Sounded. I mean, he's proud of his daughter for being so intelligent about it.
No, but I mean, like he saying that we should hold it up to the same standard, and that there's, the not enough that it suffers from credulity and gullibility. I agree with that, but I don't think he does as much as he says it.
Right. He lets his fantasy and desire.
Right. I think he's trying to cover his ass, so to speak.
Yeah. But it's adorable. I mean, I appreciate it because my dad was kind of into Bigfoot too. And so when I, as a kid, saw Harry and the Hendersons and it became the coolest thing to me, he totally fed into that. He bought me the little books at the scholarship book fair that would come. And I mean, he really fed into it, but it was cool as a little kid to actually have an adult sit and have one of those ridiculous conversations with you. And it's cool to be able to foster that in a child,
I know I've told this story before, but one of the things that got me into strange creatures was I had a fourth grade teacher who had a bookshelf in the back of the room, and on that bookshelf, and I'm fairly sure it was a scholastic book.
Yeah.
It was on cryptids, and it went through, and it had one on Bigfoot, one on the Thunderbird, one on Mothman. And I can't remember if it had something on Dogman or some other creatures, but that's what got me really interested in the Thunderbird and Mothman, because I had already seen the video, the Patterson Gimlin video. So I was already into Bigfoot.
Right.
I already was all in on Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But that was the book that made me go wait, there's other fucking weird shit that people claim to have seen.
Yeah,
I didn't fucking know this.
World.
Yeah. So, our next story of the evening, Katie, comes from the dailyrecord.co.uk. Scots couple spot UFO flying above city while drawing the curtains at home. Deborah Crowell, 60, had gone to draw her bedroom curtains at her property on Pleasance in the capital when she looked up into the sky and saw something odd. I don't know if that's a picture of it or not. It does not. Maybe I'll show you later. A Scots couple believe they have spotted a UFO flying above their home in Edinburgh. Deborah Kroll had gone to draw her bedroom curtain at her property on Pleasance in the capital when she looked up into the sky and saw something odd on Tuesday night. The 60-year-old whipped out her FZ1000 camera to take some pictures of what appeared to be a large white glowing circle with what looked to be black inner rings. Deborah took a number of pictures, and she was left stunned to discover what looked like a disc-like saucer moving toward the bright light in one of the images. Speaking to Edinburgh Live, Deborah said, "I came through to shut my curtains in the bedroom, and normally we do not see any stars on that side of the home due to light pollution. It was Tuesday at around 6 or 7 p.m. Something caught my eye. I looked up and thought, what the hell is that? It is too big to be a star, and it was just sitting there. At first, I thought it was I thought maybe it was a drone, but I watched it for around 5 minutes before I decided to grab my FZ1000 camera to get a proper look. When I zoomed in, it looked like an orb and was very round with a pattern on the bottom, but it seemed still. I finished looking at the pictures, and after a while, I noticed it was moving ever so slowly. And when I looked at one of the other pictures, I thought, holy crap, there's something else there. It looked like a saucer to the side of the main orb. It was almost disc-like, traveling toward the bright light. It vanished behind a chimney pot, and then we never saw it again. Deborah says that she has never seen anything like it before in her life, but she is convinced she caught what looked like a flying saucer in the sky. She has always had an interest in the extraterrestrial, adding, UFOs have always been a fascination of mine. I'm in several communities on Facebook who discuss them, and it is really interesting. You get some people who just rip it to shreds, but I don't care what anyone else thinks, as I have my own thoughts that there must be some real accounts out there. You will always get your doubters and skeptics, but there are those of us there that truly believe we have seen something. For me, it was the pattern on the bottom that was so shocking. And that's pretty much all of the article. This is the image that it shows. I don't know.
I almost looked up what kind of camera that was because they kept saying it. I don't know what kind of camera that is.
That's the image that they show.
Kind of looks like the moon.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it's not the moon.
Well, and there's no context to it either, which isn't helpful. So
right, it does look like concentric circles if you look at it. But then I don't know if this down here also has to do with it. But that's the only image that I could see on the page for it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a new one, that's for sure.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what
that's not a description I've heard before, so.
But it doesn't show. The thing is the images don't show the craft. You know, the other one coming in, like they were talking about.
Right.
So I don't know.
So is that the light source that she was talking about, and then the craft was the other thing?
I don't know. That seems kind of weird. But anywho, on to our next story of the evening, Katie, from Bro Bible. That's BROBIBLE.com. Tic Tac UFO with no visible means of propulsion caught on camera over California. For the second time in less than 2 weeks, we have something mysterious happening with UFOs in the skies over California. This latest UFO sighting was recorded on video by a passenger on a commercial Southwest Airlines flight on March 11th. And Katie, I'm not going to even read this story. I'm going to let you see the video.
Cool.
Because it is. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do. It's not that it's interesting or that it's really crazy or anything like that, but I just think it's easier for us to watch the video and take a look at it and not.
Right. I think I saw this one today and I didn't spend too much time on it because I figured you'd grab it.
Yeah, it's. Here we go.
Yeah.
And you can't see very much.
They don't do a good job at it, for sure.
Yeah, it's just that little white thing that you see on the screen there. There's no real context. The video is extremely grainy. You can kind of see it better there.
Oh, wow. In a way. That's where they captured it from. Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah. And then they say it disappears. But
I will say I think it's unfair to say that it's got no visible means of propulsion. Like you can't tell to say that.
Yeah, it looks okay. it looks like a far off thing flying. That's what it looks like.
I mean, it does look like a little cylinder, but it also, given the quality of everything around it, you can imagine that maybe there's some details we can't quite see there.
Right. There could be wings or something that we can't make out.
Right.
That's the thing. It's I just think they're jumping to conclusions on that one.
Well, and is that just a regular old passenger of a regular old plane? I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of foolish to me.
Cool video. If that were me capturing that, I would be like, "Whoa, what is this thing?" But
right, but then I'd want it looked at. I'd want it to go under some scrutiny.
I'd go up to the pilot at the end of the flight and be like, "Yo, bro, what was this? Could you help me out here?"
Or something.
Mr. Big Brain in the sky.
Or throw it at somebody who might have some know-how in this area.
Right.
It's like if I come across a video and I see something back when he was an active person in the breakdown community, I would throw it at one Phil Poling.
Right. Good old Phil.
But, I guess he's on vacation from himself.
Long vacation.
Yeah, he did send me a picture of a tower. So he did catch one of our shows.
Oh.
Catch one of that was a reference to something I said on the show.
Yes. I remember now.
Yeah. But yeah, good old Phil. I haven't been able to send anything to him because the bastard doesn't do breakdowns anymore.
I know.
I
miss them, honestly.
He does them when he fucking feels like it.
Randomly here and there.
I don't even know what that is anymore. I'd like to know. I want to work in that capacity. Just randomly and be successful too.
Right.
And have people watch my shit.
People be excited. You're back.
Oh, hey. No, fuck that. I get fucking trickle here, trickle there.
Well, you've always had me, Chris.
Oh, yeah, I've always had you. There's a few other people that I've always had. There's been a few ticks on my ass I'd like to get rid of. Dean Cooper.
Good old fuck Dean Cooper.
Good old fuck Dean Cooper. Good guy. He's a good guy. Our next story of the evening, Katie. I have another video for you.
Ooh, good.
Another little video for you. Bigfoot filmed in New Hampshire forest. This one I will read a little bit just to kind of give you some context, I guess. Yeah. A woman walking her dog in a wooded area of New Hampshire captured footage of a large bipedal figure passing through the forest, and some suspect the curious interloper may have been Bigfoot. The intriguing video was recently shared with the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization by a friend of the witness, who explained that the encounter occurred near the town of Bartlett. According to this individual, as the woman and her dog made their way through the woods, the large Mastiff mix suddenly began to act very out of character, as if he was almost afraid and refused to go any further. Eerily, the witness said to have then noticed a putrid smell that she likened to a dead and decaying body, and subsequently caught a glimpse of something which caused to start filming with her cell phone. In the woman's video, a bipedal figure rather swiftly walks across the woods just a few feet ahead of her, as she seemingly crouches behind the branch of a tree so as not to be noticed. Although the footage is disappointingly short, it does provide a fairly good look at the anomalous being, which appears to be humanoid in nature rather than a bear or some other forest denizen briefly walking on two legs. Present share screen.
Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. We were sent a reported Bigfoot video from the woods near Bartlett, New Hampshire. I'll play the video and read the email while
I don't need his commentary. I just need to look at the video.
That looks like a dude in a suit.
They're always short. Phil's right. They're always short, and they never go after the subject.
That's I
tend to agree. I tend to agree with you.
A stride is so human.
I tend to agree with you. Almost looks like he's carrying something. He's holding
He
something.
looked like the suit was too big for him, and he was holding his pant leg up while he was walking.
No, it looks like there's something.
Either way, that stride is so human.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Something's in his hands.
Well,
I want
the
to say
dog thing.
I want to say like a bow.
Yeah.
I want to say it looks almost like a bow or something.
Oh yeah, there's something even bigger maybe. I didn't notice that at first, but he's holding something for sure.
Yeah. It looks like a dude.
Which, why would you make him hold something? That's weird, but
looks like a dude. Where's Phil Polling when we need him?
Right.
On vacation in his tower.
I mean, it is a little creepy. It looks like it has long hair too. Like long, like
I wouldn't.
Hair from its head. Yeah. Like it looks like it has long hair like a woman. You know what I mean? Like hanging down over its shoulders.
Or like a hippie dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. That was sexist of me. Men can have long hair too. Sorry.
That's not where I was going with it, Katie.
The first thing I thought of when you mentioned the dog was like, well, that's weird that a dog wouldn't react more, but mastiffs aren't particularly brave, so that gives a little bit of credit.
I ran into something. I don't even, to this day, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a moose or a bear or what. Hey, it could have been fucking Bigfoot. I don't fucking know. But I ran into something going hiking up the Imp Trail loop with my ex-wife's brother. And our dog, she was a Mastiff Rottweiler mix. The hair on the back of her fucking neck went straight up, and her whole demeanor changed. And I used to keep her off leash when I would take her hiking.
Right.
And I instantly threw her fucking leash on. And I'm glad I did, because whatever was there went fucking stomping through the goddamn woods.
Does she want to go after it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. But like, so I don't know. I mean, she was a Mastiff mix, but
yeah. Well, and you never know how any animal's gonna respond. It
was weird. I mean, like I said, I don't know what it was. I never saw it. I never saw what it was. I just heard it, and saw her reaction. Her reaction was what got me. I knew something was going on when I saw her reaction, and then I knew I had to fucking leash her. But yeah, that's, I mean, hey, it's something. I don't know if it's a dude. I don't know if it's a something. It's a something. We'll call it a something. It's a something. We don't have
until we hear from Phil. So
yeah, I can't come to any conclusions until I've talked to Phil, because, you know, I don't know. MK Davis is done. What's the other guy that does it? Is it Bigfoot Tony? I think is his name. That
sounds really familiar.
Does breakdowns. Where's fucking Bigfoot Tony?
I don't watch hardly any of that stuff. I'm not up on it at all anymore.
I know. I'm not in a lot of any of the communities anymore. I just pay attention to the news stories at this point.
Right.
And take what little I know, and I mean, I still have some contacts here and there with some people, but
right. But there's nothing real contact worthy these days, so
not really. It's I don't know. It's become very weird. Like, it's become, I don't know, like
sad.
Like I said, it's a ghost town of stuff. There's nothing. There used to be stuff like people like getting together all the time, and I won't say newsworthy stuff, but kind of newsworthy stuff coming out every once in a while.
Right.
And now it's just like, what's the next fucking thing that we're gonna fucking destroy because it's a hoax or it's
Right.
bullshit or it's
There hasn't
it's
been a
all
big hoax in a long time. Like a hoax that's gained traction and then been.
well, Rick Dyer's been on vacation, so I mean,
I was hoping for retirement personally, but
well, I mean, no one wants to take up the mantle. That's the
Steve Coles is still out there hustling, and he's not a hoaxer, but I still get recommendations for him. I think he's the only one I still see stuff from.
I mean, I'm friends with Steve on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I see stuff from Steve anyway. But I know like he's doing stuff. I know Matt still does stuff. Matt does a Bigfoot podcast.
Is he on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah, I know he still does
I don't even get that stuff recommended to me anymore. My algorithm has like long forgotten about Bigfoot apparently. So
yeah, that's the thing, unless you're like constantly looking for it, it's
right.
not
And I'm
it's
not
gonna
anymore.
show you what you are looking for
Right.
in the moment. It's like I think it was I think Ari Shaffir, comedian Ari Shaffir, did a thing where he just looked up like cat videos on YouTube for the longest time. And that's all YouTube would show him after a while was cat video. Like, and he did it as a goof.
I used to have a second YouTube account just for something that I didn't want to muddy up my algorithm. It was pimple popping videos. It was just my pimple popping thing. I'd switch over to that accout so it wouldn't muddy up my regular YouTube. But once in a while, de-stressor. I love them. But I knew better than to screw up my algorithm. You know, I don't need that shit every day. It just once in a while, you know.
Just once in a while, okay.
Yeah.
Our next story of the evening from the mirror.co.uk. Actually, our title story of the evening. Bargain hunt expert horrified over haunted doll with dead owner's eyes and hair. Bargain hunt expert Charlie Ross was introduced to a doll with a dead man's eyes and hair in a sinister turn of events on the BBC show. In an episode that aired last week, Charlie was confronted with the spooky doll at Newark Antiques Fair in Nottinghamshire. Get rid of that video that popped up in the middle of my fucking screen. The antique expert met with Marie Wesson from Nottingham Haunted Museum, who brought along a collection of Victorian items, each with a chilling secret. One haunted doll named George dates back to 1930s Texas and had a dead man's eyes and hair. Marie said he came to us from Texas, and back in the day, they would make things like George in memory of past loved ones. The difference with George is the past loved one. George now has his glass eyes and hair. Charlie asked somewhat warily about the origin of the doll's eyes and hair. Marie said the family member who passed over, he came to us because the family was experiencing a lot of paranormal things with him. They would get headaches and their eyes would start hurting. So they took him to a few mediums, and apparently George wants his eyes and hair back. He can't rest without them, she continued. The bargain hunt expert pulled a face and remarked, I can feel a bit of a headache coming on. BBC viewers shared Charlie's sense of uneasy as one horrified fan tweeted, that doll would have stayed in Texas, before adding, I can't look at the TV. I hate dolls. Another said, see those haunted dolls on Bargain Hunt BBC today? George had the hair and eyes of the dead person, as they won't rest until they get their hair and eyes back. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Anywho, here is George.
Oh, we can see it.
Oh yeah, I get to show it to you. You get to see George. There's George. Look at George.
Oh my God! Ew, what's wrong with its face? Ew. Okay, I'm not creeped out by dolls. That's not a doll. That's an abomination.
That's George. That's fucking George. And
Seriously,
then
its face is not doll-like. What? That is a little demon.
I like him
chunk.
sitting over the Ouija board. I like that. I like that little
I've
piece of accoutrement.
I've literally never been like appalled by a doll before, and I've seen some creepy dolls. And that thing belongs on like a horror movie set for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
And what's that sack it's wearing? It's like a potato sack.
Yeah. Like a fucking nasty ass potato sack.
The fuck?
It's fucking gross looking is what it is.
Aren't there some like laws around like keeping human body parts like eyeballs?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm
I've
disturbed.
never looked into it, to be honest with you, Katie. I have looked into having a dog's skeleton articulated. I have
Like
looked into
taxidermy?
that. No, not taxidermy. Having all the flesh removed and just having a skeleton of my dog.
I feel better about taxidermy than that.
I think taxidermy looks like shit.
I do too.
So
But
I'd
having your
rather have the
skeleton?
skeleton, the articulated skeleton, because they can put it in poses. That's what I want. At one time I looked
I'll
into
just
it.
keep mine in a box as ashes on my shelf. I'm cool with that.
I thought about getting it articulated as a skeleton and getting a little dog bed and articulating it so that it's curled up in a ball and having it on the dog bed in the house.
I don't like that, Chris. I don't like
That's
that at all.
That is so what I want to do. That might happen to Gani. It might have to happen. It costs like $2 grand.
But yeah, but she's not gonna look like Gani when she's just a little skeleton. She's gonna look like a Halloween decoration all year long.
Yeah. That's the idea. Does she stay with me? See,
I keep thinking of my cat Tootsie, and she's so old that she's starting to look like a skeleton already. And it just seems so morbid to think of having her skeleton around after she's been wandering him around my house for 2 fucking decades, you know?
Already as a skeleton.
It's so dark. Oh shit.
Since you looked that way.
Right.
Oh, fuck.
19 years old ain't looking so good on her, you know?
Anywho, so I actually do have some occult thing this week, Katie. Did you watch the Waco documentary on Netflix?
I think I watched it the very first day it came out before you watched it a while back, a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay, so
yes, I did.
I watched through that. That was what I did the very first day of my after my surgery. So I got up in the morning and I sat and I'm sitting in bed and I decided to throw on Netflix and throw on the Waco documentary, which is I thought it was well done. I know there's some people who had some issues with it, but I thought it was well done. I thought it did a good job of pointing out that both sides were at fault.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that David Koresh was in any way innocent. But I also don't think that the government did the proper thing by going in the way that they did.
Right.
You know, there's a member of the ATF in the documentary that says we shouldn't have gone in. You know, we shouldn't have fucking gone in. And, you know, we did. And a lot of people died. You know, it was a fucking shit decision. If you ask me, there's, and I think there's a lot of finger pointing that goes on the side of the government and on the side of the the true believers, I guess you could say, that still exist. You know, I don't I don't get it. I just don't understand why people can't take responsibility. Like, shit happened. Bad shit happened. Okay? And you know, one of the things I said when I to Missy when we were watching the documentary, the hostage response team there, which is basically like a fucking SWAT team.
Right.
It's just like a military unit is basically what it is. And, you know, I get it. They have a job to do. They're trained to do that job. When they're brought in, that's what they're doing. They're doing the job that they're trained to do. But I said to Missy, I said, to a fucking hammer, everything's a nail. Like, if you fucking grab that tool, that's what you're going to fucking get.
Right.
Like, and you got these idiots at the top making these horrendous fucking decisions and no one will take any responsibility for any of it.
Right. And that's what's sad is they were all still human too. And
oh yeah,
a lot of them went against their human nature, you know.
And it doesn't matter, you know, that that they were trying to serve this warrant or whatever the fuck they were trying to do. They killed people they killed kids.
Yeah.
You know, in the process, because they fucking did it in this way. And whether or not that they died because of, you know, something that the Branch Davidians did, the fact that the federal government escalated it to that point caused it.
Correct.
You know,
they
and
did the escalation.
And the fact that they won't take fucking responsibility, that some of those people will not take responsibility for that shit, to me is disgusting. Being a person that was alive and watched it happen,
right?
You know, take some fucking responsibility for your shit.
Right.
You stepped in it. Clean it off your fucking shoe.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much buck passing that goes on in this country, Katie.
Yeah. And it's sad because, I mean, if you step back and look at the facts are, yes, there was some horrible stuff going on and we needed to intervene. Sure. However, nobody was being shot and burned alive at that moment.
Yeah.
But that's what happened because of their escalation. If it were not for, or if not for them, no children would have been shot. No children would have been burned in that house. So, like, they were the ones that brought it to that notch. Yeah. Horrible stuff was happening, but not that level of horrible stuff.
The other thing that I thought that cracked me up about this whole thing, and it, you know, it's not something to be cracked up about, but
sure, I know what you mean.
When early on, when it first happened, reporters were on the scene, and they actually helped some of the FBI agents get out of the way of gunfire. Right. And then later on, they were shuffled out of the fucking way. Like, get the fuck out. Do you have any respect for after they used them and fucking were like, you know, that made me chuckle. Like, seriously, you're going to act like they don't have the right as journalists in America to report on the news. And they just helped you get one of your fucking shot fellow officers out of the way of gunfire, and now you're
contributing in a positive way.
Yeah, and now you're going to scream at them for being on the scene.
I know.
Like,
well, that to me just says, though, how disorganized they are and how out of hand. Yes, right.
Government in a nutshell. But
awful.
I did grab an article on the Waco massacre from the mirror.co.uk. Waco massacre inside the 51-day siege of Apocalypse Cult, which led to the deaths of 86 people. The Waco massacre in 1993 saw the deaths of 86 people at a 51-day standoff. After a 51-day standoff gripped viewers across the U.S. I didn't realize it was so fucking long. I'd forgotten.
Me neither. Yeah. That's a long time.
Yeah. Netflix's recent documentary, Waco, American Apocalypse, shows David Koresh serving as the messiah of a religious cult who had hundreds of followers hanging on his every word. The Branch Davidian fringe religious group consisted of 130 men, women, and children living on a compound called the Mount Carmel Center outside Waco, Texas, U.S. He had warned his followers of a looming apocalypse and revealed they thought of him as the Son of God. The leader even buried a bus underground in preparation for the apocalypse, which was ready to serve as a bunker. In the 3-part documentary, there are interviews with survivors of the siege, FBI agents, and members of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Unit who raided the compound. Police had received a tip-off believing Koresh had dozens of automatic assault rifles, ammunition, and grenades, which were mostly illegal, in his home. It led to employees from the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives obtaining a warrant for his arrest on February 28, 1993. They turned up on a Sunday after believing the group would be at church. However, the Branch Davidians observed the Sabbath on the Saturday in order to be prepared for the apocalypse, were to arrive on a Sunday. After law enforcement tried to apprehend Koresh, gunfire was exchanged between police and the Branch Davidians. Now, something they don't note in here that they do say in the documentary is that it was because of a reporter that they knew that they were coming. So it was a reporter got lost and couldn't find the compound because they were informed that the ATF was going in. So they were out there to report on it. Well, they stopped a mail carrier and asked for directions. And when he asked, why, what's going on? Oh, well, it's going to get raided. Well, the mail carrier that they stopped happened to be a Branch Davidian. So he immediately ran back to the compound to tell David Koresh that the ATF was on their way.
Wow.
Now, do I think that reporters shouldn't have... now, I just defended fucking reporters. But fucking hell, holy shit, all because a fucking reporter was trying to find find their way to the scene because they were on their... because they knew in advance what was going on. Like, it just...
I'm beginning to think, I don't think I watched this documentary. Now that we keep talking about it, I don't think I watched this one. Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I think you watched the Murdaugh one. Was the one you were telling me you
watched that one, and I watched the flight one, MH70 or whatever.
Yeah, MH370, yeah.
Well, and I've been watching lately some women who have still been in that whole church and have come out of it here recently. Some young ladies have been talking about their experience, and I've been listening to some of that. Some sort of weird, similar, connected, culty thing. I don't know.
There's one. You got to watch this. So if you haven't seen this Waco one, you got to watch it.
I don't think I have.
And there's a woman in this fucking documentary, and I'm telling you, I think she's still a true believer.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at Missy like at one point, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure she's still a true believer.
Yeah. They still have some happenings, low key. There's still some people that have moved on from that whole thing.
That's some weird shit.
But it's a wild time in our history. I mean, it's this crazy scar on our history that a lot of people forget about.
Oh yeah, and because of it, I mean, they say in the documentary there's a direct correlation between what happened at Waco and Oklahoma City. There's a direct correlation. Timothy McVeigh was at Waco. He went down there after the standoff started. And it was Oklahoma City. The bombing was done. I think it was on it was a significant date that had to do with Waco years later. So it's just sad. It's sad that, we have a fucking, I guess, idiots that make decisions.
Well, and it's sad because unfortunately, I think it had a very long-term effect on how our country deals with cults and deals with, I hate to say it, but polyamory.
Well, not only
extreme religious sex of that sort of thing going on.
Well, and not only that, but militias.
Right.
Because I mean, kind of the Branch Davidians were kind of all that wrapped into one.
Exactly. But so now we're a little bit more afraid to go and confront those things head on, because it is horrible when you're having little 9-year-old girls married off to old men. That's not cool. We need to do something about that.
Yeah.
But because of the way that whole thing went, we really feel like, we don't really know what to do about it anymore.
The government's kind of standoffish now.
Yeah. It's a lot harder to really go in and crack the whip and be like, knock it off. You can't be marrying off 9-year-olds,
Yeah. It's a very, very strange thing, but I went all in, excuse me. And, I watched all 3 episodes of that Waco documentary, and I was sucked in. It brought me right back. I mean,
what year did that happen?
93, I think it was said.
I'll say I don't remember it. I was a very small child, but
yeah, 93, February 28th, 1993 was when they got the arrest warrant. So it was 93. Yeah. I mean, it was crazy time. And hey, for the record, it's a crazy time now. Has anybody looked at the news today? There was a fucking school shooting.
Yeah.
In Tennessee, I believe. I
don't remember where it was, but yeah, I saw there was one today. Yeah.
Let's send, millions more to another, or billions more to another fucking country rather than solve our own fucking problems.
I know.
How about we do that? How about we do that, people?
How about we on our own shit?
How about we send some more money somewhere to help somebody that doesn't do a fucking thing for us?
Right.
How about we do that? How about
we put the oxygen masks on ourselves before we keep trying to help other people? We got our own shit here. We need to sort out.
No, we don't, obviously. Flint, Michigan isn't a place. I guess Detroit doesn't exist. Chicago has no problems whatsoever.
Oh, Chicago is beautiful. What are you talking about?
There's nothing wrong here. There's nothing to pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Jesus.
It is a
the
crazy
emperor has no fucking clothes, people. Fuck.
It's scary out there.
It's a fucking weird world. I don't know. You got Putin. I don't know how to fuck you say his name. I guess we might want to start saying it respectfully here pretty soon.
Right, we need to shape up a little bit.
Positioning fucking nuclear weapons in Belarus for the first time in fucking years. We're
some
just
scary stuff going on.
Teetering on fucking World War III. Woo! Fucking yeehaw. Yee fucking ha. Because idiots run the fucking show. Idiots. Just fucking clown
idiots
show.
Everywhere.
It's fucking clown show is what it is.
They should start playing circus music for the news instead of the regular.
Yep, that'll be our new fucking news theme. On that note, I am not actually going to do that story you sent me, Katie, because
That is totally fine.
I'm going to wrap up the show tonight. I got to fucking end this thing.
No problem.
But thanks to everybody who joined us tonight. I did notice Les was in the chat. He skipped out. I believe that was Les Eckersley from over in the UK. We will be back next Monday. I do not know if or when my schedule will be changing. I don't think it's going to be anytime right soon. So currently Mondays will stay as the day. But if we change it, we'll go to, I believe Katie and I figured it out to be a Wednesday. So for right now, things are going to stay with Monday nights. If things change, I will let you know in the future. We will be back next Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to bring you the strange and shitty news of the week. So until then, be good to one another. Remember that when you're on the brink of nuclear war, everybody's related.
True that.
Because this shit's getting scary. So
it really is.
Fucking pay it forward out there, people. Be good to one another. If I'm a Fred Smith,
I'm Fred.
Waiting for my fucking cooked cryptids.
We're working up our appetite over here.
I'm waiting. Waiting, motherfucker. I want some pterodactyl. But we will be back next Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, be good to one another, and we will see you then.